There is no coincidence in the relationship between Jacksonville men's basketball and Muay Thai training. It starts with assistant coach Scott Wagers.
When I moved here, I looked for a Taekwondo spot, and while I was looking, um, I've always had an interest in Muay Thai, but could never really find a good Muay Thai spot because there's a lot of tradition in it. And so I was looking for a traditional Muay Thai where respect is key and that more traditional style of teaching. And luckily in Jacksonville, I found Jacksonville Muay Thai. I went to go visit Crew Giles, who's one of the best anywhere. And just his approach and the way he teaches, I like the way Crew Giles taught that tradition.
The relationship between Coach Wagers and Giles Wiley helped facilitate the training idea.
Coach Wagers had been coming to us for a while. He'd trained martial arts before, and then he started with us. And he wanted to bring the men's basketball team in, really in the offseason for extra conditioning, but also to help toughen some of them up and get used to a little bit more sort of contact and being pushed a little bit harder physically. And then, obviously all the additional benefits of fitness, flexibility, power development, strength development, things like that.
My philosophy has always been more the defensive side of basketball. So I think basketball is a contact sport. And I think guys need to learn that phrase we talked about owning your space, whether you're in a post, whether you're a guard. So based on what we did at East Tennessee State and the success we had there, I thought the martial arts was a key. So I brought it to Coach Jasic. He said, let's go with it. And, the Muay Thai teaches close quarter combat. You're using your fist, your elbows, your knees, your shins are a big time weapon, but everything's got to be in close. So when our guys got to spar each other and do pad work, it was all in close. It was about owning your space. There's no backing up in Muay Thai. It's almost disrespectful to back up. You just kind of want to stay there. And sometimes you'll see a Muay Thai fight where they're exchanging blows and they show zero pain. And in a game of basketball, if you look at a lot of the pro sports now, like soccer and basketball, you see guys get hit and they get on the ground, they roll around, and there's nothing wrong with them. And Muay Thai teaches that that's disrespectful to a sport. If you get hit, you smile, you stand up, and you keep moving. And I've always liked that about that tradition of that martial art.
Muay Thai has an interesting and violent history.
Muay Thai translated means Thai boxing. It's a 2,000-year-old martial art from Thailand that developed on the battlefield and then became a ring sport, really growing popularity in Thailand through the 20th century and spreading around the world. Relatively new to the US, only really became big over here in the 90s and 2000s. But basically it's known as the art of the 8 limbs because we use 2 hands, 2 elbows, 2 knees, and 2 legs for kicking. It was used in combat for thousands of years. But when they weren't involved in wars, they would use it in fights or contests against other villages for sort of fun or for bets and things like that. And so it developed a little bit. They'd obviously take out the lethal component.
These days, it's much more relaxed and is mostly used as a workout.
A large part of it was that relaxed attitude. I've been involved in martial arts for over 25 years, and I've done other styles, Korean styles, some Japanese styles, things like that, which are very, very strict and almost military in their strictness and making you stick by their rules. Whereas Muay Thai is much more relaxed and friendly. There's lots of smiling and laughing that happens during a training session. It's very, very hard training, but you're meant to enjoy it. One of the Thai sayings is sabai sabai, which means relax and be relaxed and composed and really just balanced. Sabai sabai.
Toughest part about the Muay Thai is a lot of people don't understand It's really a cardiovascular exercise. I mean, you get really tired. I know for me personally, I got much more tired doing Muay Thai than I do running up and down on the court. So I think the cardiovascular part of it, I was sore in different areas that I haven't been sore in ever. And that was from Muay Thai. So I thought that was really cool.
Most people are doing it really for fitness and for fun, and to learn some martial arts skills, but, hardly any of them ever really want to fight. We have a small number that want to fight. But most people are just doing it as a alternative to going to the regular gym, and try and get some additional benefits. So it's got cardiovascular benefits, strength and flexibility and agility and balance, all those benefits. But also it's very, very good for your mind. Everyone's super stressed these days. But when you come and put on gloves and you hit a bag and hit pads, it really helps.
The team learned a lot about themselves and impressed Crew Giles.
It's really interesting because a lot of guys think they can fight, hand to hand, and without that experience of having a martial art. So it exposed a lot of guys who think they can fight. They might not be as good as they thought they were. So I thought that was pretty funny.
I was actually very impressed with their level of conditioning because we've had football teams come in before where we've had people throwing up after the first session. So I was very impressed with their level of conditioning. Because Muay Thai training, it can kind of sneak up on you. It's very anaerobic, short, intense bursts. So if you're not used to that short, intense burst of activity, you think you're doing all right, and then you stop. Next thing you're hit with dizziness and nausea and all that sort of stuff. So they did very, very well. It was hard to get the guys to bring their hips into things and learn to sort of use their bodies on the punches and kicks a little bit more. They're obviously a little bit more used to linear movement than rotational movement, it seemed. But I was very impressed with their conditioning and also very impressed with how hard they worked and how they supported each other as a team. We had a few drills where people were starting to slack off and the other teammates were keeping them going and sort of, they were all shouting at each other, but in an encouraging way. It was really nice to see. They obviously are a tightly knit group. And then all the coaches were involved as well. The coaches were all walking around encouraging them. Some coaches, like Coach Wages, were holding pads and stuff like that.
I mean, anybody who knows Wage knows that he's really intense. We'll come upstairs for practice sometimes. We'll see him on the mannequins just kicking him around, practicing his stance and throwing jabs and kicks. And it was really cool. We really saw the excitement from Wage, and he was really happy to have us enjoy that Muay Thai with him.
What are some of the benefits for players on and off the court?
It works really well for sports like basketball, where, like I was saying, there's those short, intense bursts, where you've got to be able to push for the whole game, but there's periods where you go, 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 and then a little bit easy, go, 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 and a little bit easy. And then the other thing Coach Wages wanted me to work on with them was getting used to the physical contact, was, getting used to being bumped, getting used to controlling your space. Things like that. So we only did pad drills. They didn't do any sparring or anything like that. But even during the pad drills, they would hit the pads, and then their partner would sort of tap them back, and they had to get used to keeping their hands up and taking a little bit of impact on the arms, and then coming back with punches. So, it was getting them used to sort of handling a little bit of aggression and coming back with more aggression, but in a controlled way.
I think there's been some positives. I noticed in practice when a guy has been knocked down, they get up quicker. And that's one thing that's driven home in Muay Thai, is you get up quick, let's go. I think post players take that with them when they get inside of the post, that they're owning their space. This is my space. I'm going to own it. I'm not letting this guy push me out. I think it teaches counters to that, to the war that's going on in that post, especially on the defensive side.
Flexibility, like I said, balance, speed, just hand-eye coordination. The way that we want to play this year, we want to play fast, we want to defend. So I think the Muay Thai really helped in a lot of those areas.
There was a few of the guys who would make really good Muay Thai fighters. Just partly because of their build as well, but also being, naturally athletic. But, long arms, long legs, that really works well for Muay Thai fighters. So it was a few of the guys who I could see were able to push themselves harder than some of the others. and also weren't really scared of going into that point where it was starting to hurt.
I think it's pretty unique, but again, I think I know a lot of the NFL teams are doing it in football, and I think it will eventually carry over into other sports. I know I've talked to some guys that are pro athletes that are doing it for a way of training during the off season. I had a good friend, Ron Mercer, who played in the NBA for a long time. He got heavily involved in it. In fact, he was a big-time golfer. He stopped golfing and got more into the martial arts. It's just a great way to stay in shape, and it's a lifelong activity that our players can do the rest of our lives. Like I know 2 or 3 of our players that will probably continue on into Muay Thai.
I had never done Muay Thai, and as a kid, I always wanted to do a martial art. I never had the opportunity to do it. So going into Muay Thai really opened up my eyes to something I really enjoy, and I actually learned a lot. And I actually think that after I'm done playing basketball, it's something I really want to get into and possibly, master.
This is only the start of a beneficial relationship for both sides.
I think we'll do it every summer. It's kind of hard during the season, even for myself. I'm having to go in the mornings now because of the time of practice, weightlifting, study hall, watching tape. So I think it's hard for them, but I think in the summer we'll go on and continue that.
I hope there is. The women's team's meant to come in over the holidays, over Christmas and things like that. So I think it would be really beneficial for all of the teams to continue coming in whenever they can. I know they have very demanding seasons, so it's probably going to be an off-season thing whenever possible. But I really think it would help.